Alright guys, so I ordered online a UV filter or pump. It's really not a filter because there's no filtration. All it's going to do is pump water, pull water in here, run it over a UV light internally, and spray it out there. Everything here is in Chinese, and the crazy part is it kind of shows me pictures here which are pretty good. Ironically, the only English appears to be the title, which is pretty funny. Pictures are decent. And I guess this is my indicator light on the bottom to tell me that my bulb's working. Oh, here's English right here. That's interesting. The illustration is mixing a saltwater fish and a freshwater fish. Anybody who has a tank with those two fish in it, I'll give you $100. They're both living, because that's not possible. And that's a freshwater plant, and that's a saltwater fish. But anyway, just clip art, I'm sure. Anyway, this is how it came. It came in this big box from Amazon, and then it came in this bag, and I'm guessing that it's all going to already be hooked up. Let me check it out. Alright, so I twisted this off. I noticed there's a little bit of, I don't know, a grease or a silicone, maybe make this easier to tighten on, but that doesn't look good. There's a piece of plastic in there. I'm assuming that's just for shipping, to keep that from rattling during shipment. So I'm going to take this apart. And when you're handling these bulbs, it's always good to have a paper towel and just wipe them clean. You don't want your fingerprints or any kind of oil on the bulb, as it will greatly reduce the life. Looks like it screws in, and then there's an O-ring to protect the housing from current. There's the bulb. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get some needle nose pliers and reach in there and pull that out really quick. Alright, it's totally coming out this way, but I need two hands. Just showing you that this is the only way I can get this out. Alright, so this is done, and then I'm just going to clean this glass and clean this bulb, and then put it back together and set it up in the tank. Alright guys, got it all back together. This is the only thing that you need to make sure you take out. You don't want this. This is really soft, rubbery, and would melt, and who knows what it would do. But here's your indicator light that makes sure your bulb's working. Alright, so here's the dimensions of this, just to give you an idea. So it's a good foot, about a foot in length. If you had a really small tank, this would not be the unit for you. My tank is 2 feet in depth, so that'll fit perfect. And I'm actually going to just replace the power head with this, just for flowing the other direction of the FX5. Alright guys, here it is in the tank. You could really see it's doing a really good job of moving water. I would strongly advise, if you set this up, to hook this. This is what I do, but I make sure that my heater and my pumps are on the same extension cord. You notice that white extension cord right down here. But I would plug this UV light into the same electrical circuit, so that way you have one disconnect to unhook your heater, your UV light, and your pump when you do water changes. If you don't do that and you get this, you'll melt. If the water line on the intake's at the top, well, I'm sorry, the intake's at the bottom and it blows out the top, but if you get that at a certain level, it won't be able to cool the bulb, and you'll melt the housing. It'll get so hot it'll melt. See if you can see that. There's a faint light right there that tells me the UV is working, and let that run. And that's gonna be a huge. All this algae right here is gonna go away now. So if you have a planted tank, a UV light is worth having. Okay, for folks that are asking, the UV light that I put in, it has about 6 feet of extension cord.